life was lonely and blue. Yeah, I was sad as a sailor. I was an angry one too. Then there was you appear.
Welcome to Rescue Roundtable. I'm Mary Catalano, and here we are today. We have more these crazy animal people. I love them. We have our special guests are Robin and Tracy Torme. Tracy,
Yeah.
a lot of writing credits of some of them. I'm a big fan of a lot of your work. I Am
Thank
Legend, SCTV, which I can't even stand. We're going forever about that. But we're going to talk about other things. We're going to talk about animals and how you got involved in being activists, because you just had a fabulous. Well, first of all, we had a wonderful victory here in California for Prop 2 for humane treatment of farm animals, which I gathered signatures for. You gathered signatures for. We did some work on it. Explain to people what it is. What it is.
Well, Prop 2 is a proposition here in California, which was designed to give these poor animals a little bit more room so they're not stuck in these terrible little crates where they can't even turn around or sit down or do anything. And we knew we were going to be up against some pretty dirty tricks on the other side. They tried to scare everybody into thinking that everyone's going to get salmonella and we're going to have to import all our eggs from Mexico and the prices are going to skyrocket. And they really just tried to scare the life out of everybody. And we were worried that it was going to work, that people would just say, well, I don't want to have to get my eggs from Mexico. So,
right.
But thank goodness people saw through it. And
I got my nanny from Mexico, but I don't want my eggs from Mexico, right? Okay, yeah.
So we won pretty handily, which was great.
Yeah.
We were down at the headquarters on election night, which also happened to be right next door to Obama headquarters.
Oh, that must have been
So
great.
it was like a Mardi Gras atmosphere there. It was pretty amazing.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's funny.
That's fantastic. And you had a party, you had a fundraiser at your house, you said.
We had 400 people at our house somehow. We squeezed them all in. And we raised $70,000 that night for TV commercials to counter the other guys' commercials, the egg council or whatever they were called. And it was really a tough fight. And it's like most of us that are doing the animal thing basically feel like we can't ever do enough. I mean, it's just such a big problem. It's such an overwhelming problem. If you do rescue and you rescue a handful of animals, there's just another handful that immediately take their place. So we just feel like anything we can ever do, we like to try to do.
And that's great.
Yeah. And I hope that those egg farmers go out of business who are currently treating animals the way they are, because they don't deserve to be in business. The organic farmers, the kinder ones, can take over that market share, and I think we were able to see that on Oprah.
Thank you, Oprah.
Yay, Oprah, thank you. Because seriously,
You go, girl.
you got to see the video footage of both types of operations, and hopefully the good one wins, because they deserve the market share. And they said it was actually less expensive to have eggs made properly with the cage-free, rather than all these crates and things like that, So thank you, Oprah, for pointing that out.
Yeah, I was very impressed with the horrifying, the pigs.
Oh.
The pigs and that
Biting
huge
the
warehouse.
pigs,
Problem with the pigs is the pigs are very intelligent and they're very sensitive. They have very complex nervous systems. And it's really tragic about the pigs. I mean, they understand what's happening to them a little too much. So you're right. That's just one of the worst things. But hopefully this victory will not only help us here in California, but hopefully it'll go across the country and more places will enact these kind of laws.
It has to, or else it's going to fail, because they'll just move one state over.
Oh yeah, of course.
You
It's the
know.
same. We just did a show. We were just talking about puppy mills, and that's
Yeah,
another
yeah.
nightmare in hell
Oh,
for us all.
yeah.
But now we discussed this before. But there are laws similar in other states. Do you know about which states have done? You said Arizona. and
Yeah,
Florida.
Arizona, Florida, we're pretty sure have these laws. And I think there were about 5
I
or
think
6
Oregon,
states.
and there's 4.
Yeah, total
Yeah.
before California.
Yeah.
But we were really told by the Humane Society that if we won, that they felt like this would spread and it would go to other places. People are basically, I think, kind-hearted and don't really want to see animals suffer when they learn about the
Right.
conditions.
Right.
I think they're appalled.
Right.
So I think that it's a question of education and just getting the word out to people.
Yeah, I mean, veal is one of the biggest disgraces of
Terrible,
all.
terrible.
And explain,
Yeah.
We won't even give
people
our
don't know
cats
about
veal.
veal.
Yeah.
Veal.
Yeah.
What veal is done.
Yeah,
How
when-
veal is done.
When we were gathering signatures, it was amazing how many people did not realize that factory farming was so abhorrent. They really didn't realize it. And when you'd show them the pictures, I didn't even tell them anything. I just show them the pictures, and they'd be like, where do I sign? You
Right,
know,
right.
because that was enough. That tells you what you need to know. There is no reason why we should be treating something that we're putting into our bodies that's giving us their life for our life. We shouldn't be treating them with such disrespect. It's not spiritual, it's not moral, it's not necessary. I mean, there's just no reason for that kind of activity in this day and age. It's barbaric.
It is a really big disgrace, and this did not exist though. Like it was the 50s, I guess. They started factory farming, right?
Yeah.
In the United States, and it's just big business, and it's just. But yeah, the veal and the pigs and the chickens. It's just. You know, I have these my signatures at my cat adoptions. I had literature, and I would gather signatures at my adoptions, and I have this cage where the kitties are. I say, picture this cage with 20 chickens in it, and then they cut their beaks off.
I know.
I know.
I mean,
Like,
this is what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Or I
yeah.
just have to say to the people, take the flyer. You don't really want to know, but you do want to vote yes.
Yeah.
That's basic.
Oh, I told them. They didn't like it, but I'll
Well,
bet you they went to that poll.
We spend most of our time and efforts on cat and dog rescue, mostly dog rescue. So that's been like our big focus. I've always been a dog lover since I was very young, and we love
Thank God.
Yeah, we love our dogs. I mean, we fostered dogs and moved
Your
them.
dad was a famous person. Did you have dogs growing up?
Yeah,
I like
grew
it.
up with a German Shepherd, and that used to sleep on the bed right next to me when I was a kid, and
Excellent.
yeah, I mean, just grew up always having dogs, and then once I was old enough to have my own house and everything, we just started collecting our dogs. We're up to 6 now. believe it or
Good
not.
job.
Yeah.
Boom.
But they're fosters, some of them.
Some of them are fosters, and
Yeah.
we end up
Right.
falling in love with them, and then they
Of course.
sort of end up staying
Those
with
dogs,
us.
those animals, they
yeah.
hypnotize you.
Yeah, I mean,
They put a spell on you, those animals.
Oh my God! And some of them aren't adoptable, and so you can't just. You
Right.
have to keep. You're just kind of, like
Well,
happy.
they are adoptable to someone with an open heart or a
Mm.
kind heart, or somebody
Yeah.
with that kind of a sensibility.
yeah, we have a couple right now that were very, very abused, and you just
I
have
mean,
to.
they're not going to be adoptable as far as somebody happy family pet,
Right.
right?
Yeah, it's
You
kind of
have
sad
to go to a
too.
special person, and we, even in the case of one of our dogs was badly abused by a male, so
Right.
he's really scared of any males. He's
Right.
okay with women.
Right.
Any males that come around just terrifies him, and even to this day, he looks at me like he's afraid I'm going to do something to him, even though it's been
Right.
months and he should know by now that I'm not. But unfortunately, dogs are the class.
How old is that dog?
Oh, he's
3.
Yeah, so he's not
He's
very
3.
old.
Yeah, he's gorgeous.
He's a Rottweiler pit bull mix.
Yeah.
But I think that dogs are just the most amazing creatures because amongst all the animals, they have a loyalty to people. No matter how badly we treat them, they come back
It
for
doesn't
more.
Make, it
Yeah,
doesn't make sense.
it really doesn't.
I don't know many people are worthy of the love of a
Yeah,
dog.
it's true.
I really don't know
Yeah.
that many people that are
It's-
All
that
animals.
good enough for dogs.
Yeah, but all animals have that capacity. I think the reason dogs seem to have more of that capacity is because more people have dogs. But cats are like dogs,
Oh, I love
but
my
just to
kitties.
one person or two. You know what I mean? Dogs are friendly to everyone.
But I really believe that there's something about dogs and people, that it's a very unique mix. We did that in I Am Legend. We put something in about the relationship between man and dog, and how how special that is. How it's really, to a person that loves their dog, there's no difference than it being another person. That's how that you feel about it. We definitely consider our dogs our children.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no difference to us. If
Well,
they
I
get
think
sick, we worry. And
I have my dog, Sweetie the dog, is from South LA, pound about 7 years ago, and I didn't mean to get a dog, but she hypnotized me.
Yeah.
She tricked me.
No.
right.
She was the dog I was showing it. And
You've
I
never
was,
regretted it, I'll bet.
No, my
Yeah.
God, I love her.
That cliche about coming home every day and they're waiting for you no matter what kind of day you've had.
Oh my God.
That couldn't be more true. I
And
mean,
they actually want to see you.
every time we step through our front door, there's 6 little wagging tails, running around, jumping up and down. Nothing like that. You can't beat it.
Do you know Larry Miller, the comedian?
Sure.
I love Larry to death. He's
Yeah.
hilarious. But I'll never forget, his really funny thing about, he goes, the difference between cats and dogs is the dog looks at you like you could be a bum on the street. He looks at you, you're the king of the world.
That's right.
And he says, you know what cats are thinking when they're looking at themselves? If I could just open those cans myself.
Right. Cats are more independent. I think that's
I
safe
love
to
cats,
say that.
but yeah, but it's so true. But
Oh,
just,
yeah.
they just worship at your altar. I
Yeah.
mean, there's a homeless man. I live in Venice. The homeless man has got this dog, and it's the best thing in the world. I mean, it just.
When we leave the house, we look at our dogs and they look at us like, why are you leaving? Why are you
could you? Are
going?
you coming back?
We're just going to circle in front of the door until you come home, you know.
It's like, yeah, they don't. How would they know if you're really ever going to come back?
Right.
My dog, I've had her 7 years. She still thinks I'm not. You know, if I take her
yeah.
somewhere, she has to be with me. It's like sometimes she'll, get her leash loose, and people go, she's going to go away. I go, she is so codependent. She's
Well,
not
they have
leaving me.
separration anxiety. There's no doubt about it, really. Yeah.
But
I
you know,
mean-
we had some experiences with some pigs where we were playing with, and they were just like dogs. I mean, you know,
Pigs are
you'd
really
rub their
smart.
bellies, then they'd roll over just like a
Oh.
little dog, and they'd snort like a little dog, and they'd kiss you, and
We sponsor a pig called Chicklet at the Potbelly Pig Rescue in Arizona.
Oh, great.
And we get a newsletter about her every month.
That's
And
great.
yeah, so there's a place in Arizona with just hundreds of pot-bellied pigs that
Did
I
you
guess
go there? Or you
we haven't gone yet, but we're going to. We're going to go visit. But but those
One of these
Robin's right. I
days.
mean, because of their intelligence, they are pretty dog-like in a lot of
And
ways.
they're very sweet too. They're my friend brought home a little tiny, what she thought was going to grow up to be a small pig. Turned out to be a big hog. So they put him out in Catalina, and he became a very famous pig. And all these people would walk up just to see him because he would want to cuddle on your lap, and he was just like a dog. He'd get up and run, like a dog, and he'd want to sit on you. It was really sweet.
Wow.
So
So how long? I mean, you've always grown up with dogs. So now are you fostering dogs for a particular group? Or?
We people contact Robin a lot through email, and so we're suckers. It's like when we hear a hard luck story with a dog. So far, we've taken in 4 or 5 dogs that we've fostered and then moved into good homes. And then we've taken a few more that we've kept.
Right.
So basically, if the dog especially if the dog's a hard to place dog,
Right.
we're more likely to take them in for a while and give them a good home. In our house, people have described our house as like a petting zoo, because they come over and all the dogs are so loving and they're always so friendly to visitors.
Right.
That people are amazed that they come
Except for
outside.
Reggie.
Except for the
He
Rottweiler
barks.
that's traumatized, but
Yeah.
yeah. But all the others, it's a great atmosphere for a dog. They can run around in the yard and play with the other dogs, and
Yeah.
so we feel like we give them the best home we possibly can.
It's great. It's a great thing.
I think every kid should have a dog. I think that's the greatest gift a parent can give their child, because I also grew up with dogs, and they teach you like responsibility, kindness, compassion, things that children need to learn.
Right.
And more importantly than anything, than math or science. I mean, really, if you think about it. And having a child having their very own pet, it just does so many wonderful things.
The experience I've had too is people have come to me and said, I'm thinking of getting a dog, but I'm not really a dog person, and should I or shouldn't I? And every single person that's ever come to me about that now is
Has a
totally
dog.
in love with their dog.
Uh-huh,
Yeah, they got a dog, and they now they're overprotective of it, and they
Right.
spoil it. If you're out there and watching this and you're considering getting a dog, please do it, because
Yeah.
believe me, you won't regret it.
Right,
Never.
a rescue
Yeah.
dog.
Yeah,
Sure.
a rescue
Yeah.
dog.
A
definitely.
rescue, absolutely.
Only a rescue dog.
Rescue
It's-
dog,
It's
yep.
funny because somebody said, "Oh, I want a puppy." I said, "Why do you want a puppy?
Oh my God, puppies
What a
are
pain in the
so
ass.
much work.
What a pain in the
Oh.
ass. I want to raise it up." I said, No. You need to go get a dog that's already housebroken, that's at the pound, that's
yeah.
already grown.
Or get a puppy out of the pound.
whatever.
Yeah,
Some,
yeah.
whatever. But
Yeah.
it's just it's terrible when people don't understand. I mean, we were just talking about this about the show before about puppy mills, and
Yeah,
the
I work
women-
with Kim on those
Kim
too.
was telling me about how she had gone to that one store, Pets of Bel Air,
Mm-hmm.
and the guy thought he was going to try and help his business by getting some some adoption from the pound. So he apparently sent some staff. I said, how could he go to the pound and look at those dogs at the pound and still sell dogs from how could he, as a human being, go there?
He didn't. He sent people.
He sent someone.
Yeah.
That's the answer.
That's how he did
didn't
it.
Go.
Yeah,
Right.
you can't.
He
People
didn't
can't
go.
go there. Yeah.
Because the South LA pound is like, you saw the Oprah show. Thank you, Oprah. We love Oprah now.
Oh, yeah.
For that, they did it. I'm so happy that show. They did a show about this story about Jillian Lang, who founded the
Yeah.
Amanda Foundation.
Yeah.
Because Jillian is. I used to volunteer at South LA pound. I can't walk in there now without wanting to kill people.
No.
And I don't have a gun yet, so
It's a good thing I don't have
if
a
I had a
gun.
gun, there'd be a lot of dead people, and I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't be with you
You
guys.
sound like Robin. Yeah.
I know, it's a good thing I don't own
But
one,
but
seriously.
you know, it's pretty bad down there. It's a pretty bad pound. And Jillian
Yeah.
has been coming down there and getting. She always takes a lot of raggedy ass animals out of there. So I was really happy to see them.
I've worked with Amanda for 20 years at least. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
with
You know what's funny about those little raggedy ass animals though? They are the ones. Those animals know that you rescued them.
I know it.
You can't tell me each and every dog that we've rescued doesn't get that, and they act accordingly. I mean, it's like you get a puppy that's all spoiled and everything. They just kind of hamper around like whatever. But when you get a rescue dog, that dog does not leave your side. He knows.
Right.
And I think that's why people who rescue continue to rescue. Obviously, you never see a person go the other way. You know, once they've rescued, start buying a puppy or buying a dog.
Right.
You never see them go backwards. And there's a reason for that. And it's because it really makes a difference.
Yeah.
You know, in the dog's personality. You know, so many people are afraid that they're going to get a dog that doesn't have a good personality, it's damaged, it's been abused. But the funny thing, the irony is that those are the dogs that end up loving even a little deeper.
Right.
And
I used to do a lot more rescue of dogs. I live in a tiny apartment, and I used to rescue dogs because I had more people paying for kennels for me and so forth and fostering. And I used to show my dogs in the Palisades. I got them from South LA, and I'd show them in the Palisades.
That's a good
And they
idea.
live better than I'm ever living. In my life. I mean, I have a dog that was a huge terrier that's in a pool house overlooking the. I said, oh my God, I want to stay with the dog, you know. But I was really fortunate that have that experience where I would get these dogs in the most effed up pound of all, and take them to the Palisades and put them in a house with people, you know, in the yard,
great.
etc. You know,
Yeah.
and. But I told the people, you know, that you need to go to the pound because the animals there, every time even I transported an animal from the pound, half an hour after I took them out of there, I am their new god.
yeah.
I you know, they worship at my altar.
Yeah.
Next time they saw me, they know me. I'm their god.
Yeah.
And I, you know, it was a half an hour car ride, you know, to the vet office,
they know.
or to the foster home or something, you
Yeah.
know. And I just, it's just amazing. I mean, like my own dog, I was showing her at adoption. The way I started was I was doing a volunteer work for Best Friends, you know, Fabulous Best Friends. They had a super adoption event, but I wanted to volunteer at it because I was working at the Lang Foundation, but I knew these were all pound animals. I went through training, the pound training to be able to hold the dog, and it was a very successful event. And
Wow,
every animal
great.
was rescued at that event.
Wow, that's
And I was
great.
trained as a volunteer, but then I went to a regular city adoption from a mobile adoption, which is really horrifying because it was not publicized whatsoever, and a completely different experience. And every animal was going back to be killed.
Oh my God.
You know, only about 2 days from that experience. That last day was their last day. You know, I mean, last 2 days. They hold them for 2 more days after that mobile adoption. At that time.
Yeah.
And the dog I have now, Sweetie the dog, was very shy and sweet, but every time a family or a child would come near her, she would look at them like this and then try to kiss them without being aggressive. And I just said, this dog not gonna die. This dog cannot die. This dog has to. So I rescued her, took her home. Much Love Animal Rescue, which is a great organization, said I could show her with them, but I had to keep her for 10 days so she wouldn't have kennel cough. I took her to the adoption. She was the first dog anybody wanted. She got a beautiful home with a lovely family with 2 kids and a dog and a giant yard. They were great people. I couldn't have done better for her, right? She dug her way under their 8-foot fence looking for me because she was already attached to me.
Oh my gosh. Wow.
And I took her home and I said, okay, well, let's think about it tomorrow. And then I went.
You can't let her go after that.
Oh, that's funny.
So she
One of
did
the dogs
time,
that we
yeah.
rescued lost the use of its back legs a couple of years after we rescued him, and he's in a little doggy wheelchair.
I love it.
Yeah, he
He's so
wheels around. He
cute.
can
I
only use his
love
front
it.
legs, but he's happy as can be, and we love him dearly. And it's Dolby, and
Aw.
he just had a stroke of the spine,
Uh-huh.
and just literally
How old?
about 5 when he had his stroke,
Uh-huh.
and he just literally couldn't move his legs. He went to bed normal, and the next morning couldn't move his legs. And so we went through the trauma of all that for about a week of him being in the hospital, and nothing they really could do for him. And then a lot of people told us we were being selfish and we needed to put him down. And we bought this doggy wheelchair from Massachusetts and got it in, and when we first put him in it, he would just sit there and hang his head and all depressed and wouldn't move, and we were so depressed.
Oh,
and one day
God.
his old personality just popped back. He started tooling around in the wheelchair, started kissing us, started eating better.
Aw.
And he still tries to run
How old is he
the
now?
pack. He's about 7 or 8.
Yeah.
Love it.
And he tries to run the pack at our house from his wheelchair.
He
which
does
is really
actually.
amazing.
He's the most dominant of all the dogs. He's a little tiny corgi chihuahua mutt
love it.
guy.
Yeah.
He's the funniest looking little thing you've ever seen. But you forgot the best part of the story. Oh my God. Well, he'll kill me for saying this, but we took him to the vet, and we were trying to figure out whether we should put him down, and because he was suffering, we thought and he was self-euthanizing. He quit eating, quit drinking.
Right.
So we said a prayer before, and I said, I put my hand out. Now his front legs were compromised initially, so they weren't really working that great. So I put my hand out and we prayed, and I said, God, if we're supposed to keep him alive, then have him give me a sign that I can't miss. Have him put his paw in my hand.
Oh.
Because it would have been a struggle for him.
Yeah.
So I held my hand and I waited, and I kept trying to make the prayer longer, and he didn't do it, and I waited. And right before I said amen, he slapped his little paw right in my hand. And that night, I slept with him on my chest all night because he's like a little teddy bear. And I'm cuddling him all night. And the next morning, he woke up just kissing my face all over the place. And the funny thing is, I have to expel his bladder. He knows I'm pruning him. Now, ever since then, he prunes me. Like, it's the funniest thing. It's like he tries to give back what I give to him, and it's...
We should have brought him, actually. We could have brought him on.
I know, little
Doggone
Dobie.
it.
Well, actually, Jeff from DoggyTV has videotaped.
Our Jeff? This
Yeah,
Jeff?
Jeff.
Our
Because
Jeff,
Dolby
okay.
protested at the puppy mill protest.
I love
And
it.
he had a message, that rescue dogs can be just as cute as any other dogs, because Dolby is really handsome.
Aww.
So we love him.
The dogs are good. I like the kitties too. I am enjoying the
We have
kitties.
two
Yeah.
of those, too.
I love the
So,
kitties.
yeah.
What flavor kitties do you
We've
have?
got a Norwegian forest cat, and we've got a
Oh,
Russian blue.
Oh, yeah. And
Great
they're
cats.
the best
Yeah,
cats.
really
Yeah.
good. Robin and I, when we met, I had 2 old cats and she had an old cat. We moved in together, and within a period of about a month, all 3 of them died of old age.
Wow.
It was just like 1, 2, 3,
That was the weirdest
devastating
thing.
for
Oh my
us.
God.
And so that happened shortly after we first lived together. But that's one of the cruel ironies of having pets, is that you outlive them.
That's
and
really
it's just
sad.
horrible.
Do you know what's
Yeah.
weird is when Oscar, my little Persian, died, and his 2 cats died, we thought, okay, it's time to, we decided to rescue, and that phone call got us into animal rescue because we weren't into it before.
Well, I'd been for years.
He had been,
yeah.
but I hadn't, and he always donated, but he didn't get in the
Right.
grassroots in the
Right.
trenches like he does now, but he just donate. And then once those cats died, they led us to, getting involved with it was a long story, but it kind of parlayed into this.
Animals help each other get rescued. I mean, they do. They do. Like, they really do. I mean, it's really something else.
It's so funny.
We also find the people that we meet that work in rescue, if somebody is devoting their life to helping animals, how bad of a person can
Right.
they really be? I mean, so we really find that we've met a lot of great people with a lot of integrity who are very selfless. There's a young couple that we know, they spend virtually every penny they make in rescuing dogs. I mean, and they rescue the hard to place ones too. And we just respect and admire that a lot. I mean, that's just really amazing.
And the irony,
Especially being in show business, you're so used to meeting the other guys.
Scumbags.
Yeah, right. You're so used to meeting people you wouldn't
Yeah,
trust.
I used to have a career, but I can't travel. I
Yeah.
can't make a living as a comic
Yeah.
because I can't travel. So I just, the animals have pretty much ruined my
Yeah.
career.
Well, that's okay. It's
Aw.
a
But-
higher cause.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they're great, and I've saved a lot of animals' lives, and that's good. I mean, they didn't ask to be born, they didn't ask to be dumped, or That's why I don't understand people dumping their animals. Just like
No, we can't understand
that is a major, unbelievable thing.
how
for
people
me.
can sleep at night after they've
There's
done
always
something.
a way.
I cannot understand.
there's, you know what? There's always a way. I mean, you may have to live in a smaller place. You may not get the place you want exactly, but isn't it worth it? I
We
mean,
met a guy not too long ago that had a dog for a long time, and then for a reason he had to move and couldn't take the dog with him. And he called one of the rescuers and said, I'm hoping you're going to take the dog, because if you don't take him, he's going to the pound. I'm putting him down.
Yeah.
And we were like, why are those the only options? I mean, find a home for your
Right,
dog.
right.
Once you take the dog and he's lived with you for 4 or 5 years, like it had in this case, how could you put him down?
Yeah.
I mean, we just don't understand thinking like that. And some people are very capable. I mean, I have some of my friends that are the least into animals. Their attitudes, in all honesty, it's not an evil attitude, but it's an attitude like a animal's kind of a piece of property. It's like a possession. It's a piece of furniture or something. And they don't think that in a, like I said, in some kind of, you know, terrible, evil way. They just have been raised to believe that an animal is a lesser being.
Right.
It's nowhere near what a human being is. And those of us that have, you know, animals in our houses and everything, I mean, we know that they're complex, emotional. They have feelings. They're up. They're down. You know, once you really live with an animal, your cats, I'm sure, are like that too. That you realize that they're not just possessions. They're sentient beings.
They're living beings, souls.
We're out of time.
Oh.
Damn it.
Can I say one more thing?
Yes.
The irony about animals is that they are the key to the environment. Like if people aren't into animals, they all are connected, and if we would go vegan and stop having all this factory farming, it would save the environment. It would solve the environmental problems.
Yeah, because animals know where they're supposed to be. You know, that's, yeah, thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you
Thank
for
you
having
for
us.
having
Thank you for playing
us.
music. But I wanted to talk to you about some more. I'm going to keep talking to you. You know what? That's the thing. You know, to me, it's like nature was made so perfect that we mess it up.
Yeah.
And that there's one thing that really makes me angry in the media, and one of my bigger, the pet peeve about the mountain lion coming into the neighborhood when you've moved into their habitat, and you're going to have to kill them.
Or the
'cause they might hurt-
coyotes.
Oh my God.
Right?
Oh.
I mean, it just kills me.
Oh.
Because
We have
Yeah.
coyotes all around our house. We hear them at
I
night.
feed them.
Well, yeah,
you know why? They
should.
don't pester your dogs if you feed them. If you feed them, they're hungry. You feed them, they leave your dogs alone. Seriously. And they know you feed them, and they listen to you. Like, people are always like,
I thought we were out of time. We're not out of time. We're almost out of time. But
oh,
now, what, so you got
we're
to say,
still,
you got to say
here
what
I'm
you
telling
said.
all these people I feed the coyotes, and everyone's like, don't tell
Ah,
anyone to do
no,
that.
no.
But you know what's funny is those coyotes know me, and they were actually going after somebody's dog. They were like barking through the fence, and I went, shh, you go. And those little guys looked at me. They,
Just me and my dog catching some sun. We can't go wrong. My life was lonely and blue. Yeah, I was sad as a sailor. I was an angry one too. And there was